sun beat down on Afia's back, a merciless accomplice to the injustice unfolding before her. Dust swirled around her bare ankles, each grain a silent witness to the impending tragedy. Her once vibrant galley, a symbol of youthful hope, hung limply askew, the vibrant cloth reflecting the hollowness in her eyes. Afia, barely 18 summers old, stood condemned by the very community that nurtured her. The air crackled with a morbid anticipation. The murmurs of the assembled villagers, once familiar and comforting, now sounded like a menacing chorus chanting her demise. The weight of their judgment was a tangible entity pressing down on her frail frame. Her crime? Fornication. A sin, they declared, is so grave it stained the very fabric of their society. The irony gnawed at her insides, a sin born out of an act of brutal violation. The chief's son, Chikodi, a notorious braggart with eyes as black and soulless as a moonless night, had stolen her innocence under the cloak of darkness weeks ago. Afia had dared to speak out, her voice trembling as she recounted the chilling details to the village elders. But her truth, stark and raw, was met with skepticism. In their eyes, she was the temptress, the weaver of lies. The whispers began, the loose woman, they hissed, their words laced with venom. She probably led him on. The chief, a man whose face held the authority of a seasoned lion, remained conspicuously silent during the entire ordeal. His silence, heavy and oppressive, spoke volumes. Protecting his son, his heir, far outweighed the need to uphold justice. Today, the verdict had been delivered. The council, a group of weathered men whose wisdom was as questionable as their impartiality, had sentenced Afia to the ultimate penalty, death by hanging. The noose, a cruel contraption of twisted vines, lay coiled at her feet, a grotesque serpent waiting to claim its victim. As the executioner, the wiry man with a perpetually mournful expression, stepped forward, Afia's gaze darted towards the chief. He stood amidst the crowd, his face an impassive mask. But for a fleeting moment, their eyes met. Afia saw a flicker of something in his depths, guilt, fear, or perhaps even a sliver of recognition. It was gone as quickly as it appeared, replaced by the cold indifference of a man in power. Her heart hammered against her ribs, a frantic bird trapped in a cage. A wave of nausea washed over her, the metallic taste of fear clinging to her tongue. Yet, amidst the terror, a flicker of defiance ignited within her. Afia wouldn't die a meek lamb. She wouldn't let them erase her truth. With a surge of adrenaline, she flung her head back and let out a scream. It wasn't a scream of despair, but a roar of defiance that shattered the oppressive silence. It was a cry for justice, a desperate plea for the skies to hear her silent screams for help. The executioner hesitated, startled by the unexpected outburst. The villagers exchanged uneasy glances. In that brief pause, Afia did something utterly unexpected. She lunged forward, not towards the crowd, but past them, towards the edge of the clearing. A collective gasp rippled through the air. Before anyone could react, Afia was at the precipice, a single, solitary figure silhouetted against the unforgiving sun. Below her lay a treacherous gorge, a yawning more promising oblivion. "If this is the only justice I can have," she screamed, her voice raw with emotion, "then so be it." The wind whipped her words away, scattering them like dust devils across the parched earth. Tears streamed down her face, a mixture of grief and defiance. One last time, her eyes met the chief's. This time, there was no mistaking the message, a searing accusation that burned brighter than the midday sun. Then, with a final, heart-wrenching cry, Afia launched herself into the abyss. The silence that followed was deafening, broken only by the mournful wail of the wind. The villagers stood frozen, the weight of Afia's final act pressing down upon them. The chief, his face ashen, stared into the depths of the gorge, his eyes reflecting a storm of emotions, fear, regret, and a chilling realization that the truth Afia died with was a truth that could no longer be buried. The news lay discarded on the dusty ground, a grim symbol of a justice that failed. Afia may have been silenced, but her defiance, her desperate act of self-preservation, echoed through the valley, a haunting reminder of a story left unfinished, a cry for justice that would forever stain the fabric of their seemingly peaceful society.